Hello Taurus, and welcome to your reading. Before we begin, this could be past, present or future energy, but for me as a reader, the energy truly begins as soon as you feel divinely guided towards watching this video. This message will resonate if it is meant for you. If it does not resonate, please be sure to check your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter, because they are all important regarding love, and this is a divine love reading. If you feel divinely guided towards a personal reading with me, that will also be in the description box below. In your pre-meditation for this reading, Taurus, as I was sitting in your energy, I was given by my guides it was this vision of a bird, and this bird was flying in the wind, and birds usually carry packages. Let's say if you think there's an important letter or something of that nature, sometimes you see these stories of birds carrying letters of significance and bearing them and moving towards knowing the location. It's interesting actually, because they know the location without having to really, it's like an inner knowing. So I feel like here your intuition is really guiding you at the moment, but more importantly actually, this bird wasn't carrying a letter, this bird wasn't carrying a package. Actually, this package was above them, and in a way it was actually carrying them. This bird was able to glide in the wind and this package was on top of them, and what I was getting was the feeling that this is all of your investments, this is all that you have put into a commitment, as this is a love reading, and everything that you're building and everything you're contributing towards this, you're doing so to invest in the long term. And this package in on top of you, as you are the bird, is just growing and growing and growing, and as it is, it's rising and rising and rising, and you're this bird, and really you could fly, but you don't need to, because it's this sense of comfort, it's this sense of harmony within you that I feel like you've actually created for yourself. And that's because of, I'm getting perseverance, it's about dedication, it's about knowing where to invest your time and what is most important to you. So your values are aligned at the moment, your values are very much in alignment with your intuitive side as well. So I did really enjoy that actually, it was quite a nice meditation, so thank you for that, Taurus. So now we're going to look at your current situation regarding love and your partner's situation regarding love. But do remember, because I am connecting to both of your energies, that these messages, it may be vice versa, it may be interchangeable, so take it how it resonates with you, Taurus, and remember to use, as the meditation did suggest, use your intuition, because that is going to really lead the way for you towards what you need out of this reading. We now open ourselves up to the energy that we are about to receive. With love and light, we are open and we are accepting of any divine guidance. We radiate love and light. So now, Taurus, as I ring this singing bowl, I would just like you to allow that noise to penetrate you and roll through your senses, and in a way, imagine this sound is light flowing through you and allowing you to release any energy that may not be of your highest vibration. And again, I feel like you're flying high, so this is going to feel quite natural to you. We are ready. The first card out for you, Taurus, in your current situation regarding love is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a major arcana, so this means that this is part of your life purpose, and the Wheel of Fortune is my divinely guided card. So if this comes out in the reading, that means that this feels like it's part of you, this feels right to you, and you're moving forward with your intuition, and the universe is there with you and protecting you. Now, the overall meaning of this card is the end of a cycle coming to a conclusion, and you have learnt everything you have need to learn from this cycle. This may be more than one. This may be a time in your life where you're realizing that you've come to the highest possible level that you can go regarding a situation, and now you're going to, it's not that you're leaving that situation behind, you're just going to transcend this situation now and move it forward in another way. So you're kind of stepping on a new path, and that path is one of enlightenment, one that's going to be insightful, because you're taking the lessons that you learnt and you're applying them to new situations in this relationship. You're creating new situations in this relationship, and you're allowing yourself to, in a way, release any energy that didn't feel right and flow with the energy that does. So you're creating the necessary changes, and I feel like you're reading into this situation, you're reading into this relationship, and you're making sure that you're making the right investments. But I'm being drawn to the wings. You see this aligns with the premeditation of the bird in the air, and you see how they have these wings and they're looking over these books, and in these books I feel like you're questioning, you're thinking, okay, what is the right way to go about this situation? What is going to be different, because you don't want the same situation happening over and over again. You're coming to the end of a cycle, so you're actually trying to define what is the right way to go. And even though you feel pulled by the universe to make a move and implement this change in your relationship, it's almost as though through that, even though you know this is going the way it's supposed to go and it's happening quite naturally, you're still being quite inquisitive and trying to learn what you can again from those past cycles. The next card, please, for Taurus. Current situation regarding love. Current situation regarding love. You have the Six of Pentacles. This individual, they are giving to others because they understand the trials and tribulations of these individuals. So I feel like here you're taking on an empathic role in this relationship. You're trying to understand this relationship and you're moving forward in a way that aligns with your morals and values, because the Six of Pentacles, the Pentacles are about morals and values. They're about what you see as worth, but this is about giving. This is about receiving in a way that feels just. You see those scales? That's balance. That's duty. So to you, it just feels right to contribute to this relationship. It feels like part of your duty, and you're fulfilling a duty that it feels quite natural to you with the sixes. The sixes are about relationships. It's about that feeling of gratification in really just the flow, in the equilibrium of the situation. So I like this. This is a good start for you, Taurus. This tells me that you're approaching this love in the right way, and I feel like again that's what your question was. You were thinking, what is the right way? And there we go. The next card out for you is the Six of Pentacles. So it looks like you are finding the right way to go about this, and that's through you're highly empathic as well. So again, I feel like that does tie in with your intuition and that message that we had. The next card out for you is the Four of Swords. This is one of my favourite cards in the deck. This is you taking a step back. You have had to go through many challenges. You've had to go through situations that you didn't think you would come out of, and my guides are telling me you didn't think you were going to come out of the same. So this can be a case of quite dramatically situations that you didn't think you were going to survive in one way or another. But what I'm hearing actually is more, you didn't think you'd come out of them the same person, but in more of a low vibrational way. You were worried that these situations would change you for the worse, and now you've come out of this. So if you think of this card as the true meaning of this card was about knights that would go out to battle, and they would pre-make their coffins in advance because they didn't think that they were going to survive these battles, and then they would get back after surviving, and they would lay in that pre-made coffin, and they would thank the world, and they would truly appreciate their life, and they would lay there now and try and make a decision that really aligned with their higher good, that was of deeper purpose, because they didn't think they were going to survive. Okay, but what I'm getting here is that you knew you were going to survive. You knew that you were going to persevere through whatever this was, but you didn't know whether you were going to survive fully in a way that really your integrity was still intact. You felt like maybe this would change you and it would taint your thoughts, and actually it's the opposite. It's like you've come out of this and you know even more so now what your purpose is. You know even more so now what you're going to do in your movements forward, that's going to be really part of who you are and the fate that you want to bring upon yourself even in this situation, because I feel like you're very much analysing this relationship and wanting to go about this in a way that's going to really align with your fate, your fated purpose in this world, and you're coming to an understanding now of what your purpose is, or what you feel your purpose is at this time. And the fours are about that stability. And again, that sword on that coffin there, one sword, that represents the Ace of Swords. It represents the truth that you have within you and coming to a realization now about what your truth is. So as this is regarding to relationships, I feel like this one sword on the coffin is saying you're seeing this person and you're seeing them for who they are in this relationship, and you're seeing yourself for what you have to bring this relationship that is trustworthy and honest. So this is again that sense of appreciation, that sense of feeling thankful for this relationship. And also remember that feeling I was getting from the Wheel of Fortune about taking a step back, even though that represents change. Again, I felt that sense of needing to learn, and the Four of Swords did come out. But again, I feel like here the right decision is being made, whatever decision this was that you've had to make already and you're trying to come into alignment with. I feel that is coming together now. Next card please for Taurus, current situation regarding love. Your energy, Taurus, is beautiful. It's calm. A lot of the readings have been quite heavy energy, and I guess quite sensitive. And I'm not saying that you aren't sensitive, it's just a lot more grounded here and stable. So if you've been through anything, again that sense of battle there with the Five of Swords, you've really been able to stabilize that energy in a way that does feel quite harmonious. And that in itself, if the energy was like any of the other readings that I've done, is quite, I guess I sense that appreciation in that you were able to get through that situation. If those challenges, or should I say those challenges that you are now using them to align with your core purpose, which yeah, you're following your intuition on that. The Eight of Wands. This is you adapting to this change. This card to me means adaptability. You see all of those different wands, they're flying in the wind and they're not quite sure where they're going. They're just letting the wind take them. But wherever they do go, it's quite fast paced, and they're going to just kind of merge with the energy and take on that energy, and they're realizing in a sense it's out of their hands now. So you're leaving this now up to the universe, which I'm seeing that transition now. So you had the Wheel of Fortune, the universe was guiding you, and then you moved forward and you were trying to make the just decision and using your intuition again and a sense of empathy here, emotional intelligence, and going within yourself, seeing what's truly of purpose in your situation and recognizing all of those challenges that you've overcome and being quite grateful. Actually, that's a sense of appreciation. But now you're letting it go, you're letting it flow, and you're just seeing where it's going to take you, and you're willing to adapt with the situation. So this is telling me that the situation you've chosen, the decision you've made, it aligns with your purpose, and you have such trust in your purpose that you're allowing the wind, you're allowing that sense of commitment, all of the work that you have invested so far, to really lead the way now, in a sense. Last card please for your current situation regarding love, and then we will move on to your partner's energy, Taurus. Beautiful reading. And we close your energy with the Knight of Pentacles. you're holding on to this relationship, you're holding on to this commitment, and you're moving forward with this in a way that is slow and steady. The Knight of Pentacles is the most reliable knight in the deck. They essentially are the most trustworthy because they will sit and they will analyze a situation, and they will only move forward when they know that their decision is going to be successful, when they know that what they are going to do in this scenario is going to be successful. So the Queen does send out the Knight of Pentacles when she wants I feel like when she needs to convey a message that is going to be serious, that is going to be long-term and stable, and that is going to have success. So you're having the same approach here, taking on that energy. You're being someone that not only you can rely on, that this relationship can rely on, but that your partner can rely on. And again, there's only one pentacle here, so I'm getting a sense of devotion. This really is deep devotion. We have that sense again of taking a step back and going into a mode of contemplation. But again, that contemplation, it's not going to be something where you're just resting. It's not a sense of really just being on, turning yourself off for a moment and needing a moment. It's more actually that you're in a sense resting, but you're not. You're really in deep contemplation mode in order to really convey what you need to and move forward in a way that is going to be reliable. So you're being moved in this direction, Taurus, and at the same time there's a sense of feeling a pull to move forward with this relationship, move forward with this in a way that is divinely guided, but at the same time you are taking a step back and knowing what's going to be best for both of you. And I guess it's quite a mature energy here. I'm seeing this is someone that has the experience and has the knowledge, and in a way, again, you're adapting and you're going with the flow, but at the same time you are really trying to stabilize yourself and you're trying to be steady at the same time. And in a way, I guess this isn't the right word, but you're trying to pull yourself back in order to really know, in order to take that. So as soon as you go with the flow, you gather the information you need to out of that experience and you adapt, and then you take that and then you see what you need to do from that. Both energies here, so whether you're moving forward in this relationship or you're taking a step back, there's still that sense of movement. Yeah, I feel like you're saying, yeah, you're agreeing with me here, Taurus. I feel like you know what this means to you. Now we're going to look at your partner's energy. Current situation regarding love. One of you just did say to me, or I did hear this in my head, I just heard someone say, I know the purpose of this for me, I know how much this means to me. So this could be a thought that you're having, or this could be your partner's energy, because we are moving into that now. But the first card out for them is also a major arcana. They have everything on the table here that they need in order to manifest this connection in the right way. They have this feeling in their mind, this sensation that there's going to be something quite... it's an urge of theirs that there's going to be something quite significant that's about to happen, and in that moment, in that sense of preparation that they had, that this moment, this relationship was about to really transform in some way, they've been taking the time to gather their thoughts and gather their emotions and really trust their thoughts at this time and know where their passion lies, and not letting their emotions cloud their judgment, but instead tapping into that side of themselves that can really be quite emotionally intelligent and know what they want. They're trying to ground their emotions at this time and use that to their advantage, rather than, because I feel like this is a card of manifestation, but I feel like in the past they were trying to understand themselves and they were trying to manifest something in this relationship, and they weren't quite sure yet just how to get there. And now they know. Now they're certain, and they're raising their hand. They have the infinity sign above their head, so this is saying that their intuition is quite clear now. They're seeing clearly, but I'm also feeling again what they've had to move through in order to get to that place of clarity, and it was quite hard for them to analyze their emotions. But once they did, once they understood what the universe was trying to tell them, the seeds that were being planted in their mind, it's like there was this natural overflow. There was this natural abundance. So they could be coming to you now and really wanting to manifest something that is, again, they might have an idea of some sort that they're coming to you with, and it feels like this has been on their mind for quite a long time and they just haven't been able to express this in the right way, or they felt like they didn't want to express it just yet until really the right moment, and they're coming to that now, or it's this twinkling of a thought that is coming to them. Next card please for Taurus, your partner's energy. Yes, they're putting everything on the table here. You see, they're sitting firm, and this individual, they're wearing white. So this is coming from a place of pure authenticity. They know what they want and they're putting everything on the table. All of these cups, they represent emotions and feelings, but this is a wish fulfillment card. So all of these emotions matter to them and they just want to express them to you in abundance. And this is I'm getting quite a harmonious energy from this card. So even though they're sitting firm and they're saying, I am serious about this relationship, there's also a sense of harmony. So even though they've been holding back, and again, I feel like these cups were covered at one point until they really understood themselves, because I feel like these cups meant a lot to them and they still do mean a lot to them. So I feel like they really guard their emotions. They have a habit of guarding their emotions because their emotions mean so much to them, but because you mean so much to them, it's like it was this double pressure to them where they wanted to make this right, they wanted to get this right, and again that sense of right and not really knowing what is right at this moment in time and wanting to really go about this in the right way. So both of you are really quite serious about this relationship and your values are quite aligned with one another, and I just feel like you're taking extra care at this time to come towards each other in a way that is going to be fulfilling for both of you. And again, your partner just wants to share all of the way they're feeling and all of their emotions, and they're taking care at this time to really try to do that with you and not come from a place that is clouded and not come from a place that is overthinking. They want you to be able to trust them, because they have so much passion inside of them, and sometimes with passion they just want to give, and I feel like they're trying to hold back in order to just be able to give you the best they can, and really think about the way they can convey themselves to you and share their emotions with you, where it's not just so much passion and intensity coming out at once. And it may be that way, Taurus, that they are just coming with such intensity, but they're trying to refine this. They're trying to. And it could be the opposite. It could be that they know there's so much passion there that they're holding back in order to refine. But either way, I'm getting that intense sense of passion. The next card in your partner's energy is the Four of Wands. This is the 11 card. This is my card of synchronicities. So they're noticing that this connection, there's some sort of higher purpose to this connection. They feel there is some sort of divine purpose to this connection, or perhaps this is saying that in their energy there is this sense of being guided and their intuition really flowing through them. And we do have the Wheel of Fortune on your side. Again, that is another divine card. The fours are about a stable foundation, and they're also about that sense of unity within a foundation. Your partner, they're taking a moment to pause, as you are with the Four of Swords. This is another four. And they're realizing how much both of you have grown and how far you have come. How far you have both come, but realizing that there's so much more ahead of you. So I like to say that this is a long-term relationship card. They see this as going on way into the future. So they're looking out and they're thinking about the future, and they're dreaming about the future and how much more you have to grow together and how much more potential that this relationship truly has. In a way, this is the feeling of a stable foundation coming together. You see that house in the background and those individuals holding up, rejoicing that they found one another, and they're keeping their promises. They're making promises, and it's regarding their future, and they're deciding to hold on to one another, and hold on to one another in a way that feels freeing, in a way that feels warm inside themselves, that feels, again, right, Taurus. Next card, please, for your partner's energy. So we're talking about what feels right, and the next card is the Queen of Swords. She is the... Okay, I have to say, as this is the Queen, this is quite a nurturing energy. And again, your partner's wanting to understand this connection. They may have, they've been through quite a lot, and through what they've been through, they've been able to take the lessons from that and grow from the experiences and come to a place where they have this sense of a higher understanding of situations, a higher perspective of situations. So they're wanting to bring that to the relationship. They're wanting to see how they can grow in this relationship from what they already know, and wanting to transcend what they already know and take an objective perspective over this. So they're not only thinking of themselves in this connection, they're also trying to think of what's best for both of you in your movements forward, and to do so in a way that feels right and just, because the swords are all about what feels just. They're all about being truthful and authentic and being in their thoughts. This is an intellectual energy, because this is the air energy. This is the again, that sense of overthinking as well. And this is telling me that even though they're quite intellectual, they're approaching this situation with you, this relationship with you, in quite a skillful way and in quite an experienced way. They do have a tendency to really go deep into their thoughts here, and at times their emotional side is quite overwhelmed by this, but they're kind of moving back and forth between that and trying to take a higher ground. But their energy, I have to say, is a little bit more on the heavier side, Taurus. I feel like your energy is quite harmonious, but theirs feels just a little bit intense here, trying to understand themselves. And the Queen of Swords is someone that has been through so much that they have such a higher understanding, and they're trying to apply to this relationship. But again, they've had to get through that energy, they've had to get through those challenges in order to come to the understanding. So it can be quite a lot to bear for them, a lot of responsibility to bear, but they're able to handle it, and the universe wouldn't give them anything that they weren't able to handle, that they weren't able to transcend with, that they weren't able to grow from. That's what I'm getting at this moment in time. They're wanting to be someone that you can come to, and someone that can really understand you. They want you to know that they're not coming from a place of judgment. They're quite open-minded about this connection, and they're really wanting an equal relationship. So this is their energy: mutual understanding, mutual relationship, and wanting to be as honest and clear with you as possible. Your partner's energy. Wow. One of my favourite cards on your partner's side as well. And I just did see the numbers 33. That could bear significance to you, but also the Empress is the number 3. That's about creation. They're coming from a place of unconditional love. They are looking out onto the future, and they're wanting to give birth to new ideas. This is, yes, the creative energy, but what they do give birth to is going to be of substance, because this is the Mother of the deck. The Mother of the deck, they've mastered all of the Queen's energy, they've mastered all of the feminine energy. So really, they've had moments where they've been quiet and withdrawn and quite protective and sensitive over their emotions, and through that they've learned and they've grown, and they've come to a place of stability where they can be that person that gives the right advice, that can help others, and also be quite comfortable with who they are as a person and what they want in a long-term commitment as well, knowing exactly what they want and wanting to invest in something long-term, not wanting to settle for anything that isn't as serious as, again, this maternal energy, this unconditional love. They don't want to place conditions, they want something that feels just, that again feels equal, and doing so in a way that is quite passionate and wanting to tend to that, wanting to protect that, but not only protect but support that as well. It's quite an expansive energy, it's quite a growing energy. So it's a beautiful card. And again, that heart by the throne, it's a sense of permanence. It's saying that however this relationship really develops and whatever changes that you're both going through at the moment, your partner is saying that they're there for you unconditionally. They're not placing any conditions upon this relationship. They know what they want in a long-term commitment, and you are there with them, and they are very much in love with you, Taurus, actually, with this card, and it's unconditional. Wow, incredible. Incredible message. The Empress, she's already grown a forest. If you see, the forest is in the background. She's already tending to a forest, but she's looking upon what isn't there yet, and she's seeing the potential in the future. She's seeing the possibility in the future. So again, look at the crown. Her head is lighting up with ideas. She has faith in this connection. The camera is out of focus, and there it is. Again, that tells me that that's quite an intense energy. That's quite a strong message for some of you. So I've looked at your current situation regarding love, and I've looked at your partner's current situation regarding love. Now I'm going to move forward into how they perceive you, Taurus, and how you perceive them. The first card for how they perceive you, Taurus, wanted to come straight out. We have the Chariot. The Chariot is a major arcana again, and this is someone that moves forward with determination to really achieve the outcome that they are working towards, that they've worked hard for, because you see the energy here, the black and the white. This is about taking the good and taking the bad, taking the dark and taking the light, and moving forward with both in a way that can be constructive, in a way that can build. So they see you as quite a strong individual that can face situations that others probably wouldn't face. Others wouldn't be able to bear the weight of some of the situations that you're able to not only challenge but transform, because this is quite a transformative energy. The Chariot moves forward, and the reason why they move forward is because they see the wish fulfillment. They see the effect of all that they do, and they dream of creating change that is substantial. And I feel like they understand that about you, and they almost want to be there with you at this time as you're going through this energy and moving through the dark and the light and making it into something that is, I guess, more useful and more integrative. I'm hearing someone want to voice their opinion, and it's almost like your partner sees what you're doing, and they're so inspired by what you're doing that they feel this need to kind of analyze you. And in a way, it's not asking how you do it, it's more just being so inspired by you and knowing how you do it and wanting to, I guess, contribute by just observing and learning from you in a way. The next card out is another major arcana, the Death card. I wouldn't worry about this. This is quite a deep energy, quite a deep emotional energy here, because this is the card of Scorpio. You're someone here that can look deeper into the details of situations, and again, that transformative energy, the Scorpionic energy, is all about transformation. It's all about, I guess, the breaking down of foundations that aren't weak and rebuilding them in a way that has more substance and that is in a way more sustainable until the next realization. And then again, it's that sense of coming to these realizations and learning from them, and they see you growing. They see you growing through darkness here, actually. So you're taking any energy that perhaps is quite deep and you're finding what is going to... Okay, this is what I'm getting. You're looking upon situations and you're not reacting, and when you do react, you observe the way you react and you learn from that, and they admire the way you learn from situations, the way you learn from the way you react, and you transform that and you move forward and you adapt again. And you can be quite a private person with this card. This is quite a private energy. This is quite a reserved energy, but they feel like with them you are able to share, or perhaps they're able to see inside you and understand you, and almost in a way where you don't have to share. They feel like they already know, and that's because your energy is so intense to them. And the Sun is at the back of this card, so even though this is about the depths of your, I guess, emotional depth actually as well, the Sun is in the corner coming up, so that's saying that you do gain clarity. There is some light in this, and again, that merging of dark and light they see in you. And I'm seeing their vision, I'm seeing their eyes, and they're looking at you, they're observing you, and they're just seeing this coming together of darkness and light. You look at others, and again, this is just how they perceive you, but they see that you look at others, and Taurus, it's as though you have this deeper understanding for them, and there's almost a way you can feel others and relate to others, and you take the time to do that. Emotional intelligence, I feel like, would be the word, as that is in your current energy, so I feel like we should say that again here. It's this sense of being analytical, but being analytical about feelings as well, not just ideas, not just about your thoughts. It's really going deep into your emotions here, Taurus. The next card is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a card of creativity. It's a card of resurrection as well, and having passion. And they see that everything you approach, there's this certain light in your eyes that they notice, and they see your passion, they see the inspiration that you have in what you're doing, and it feels quite original to them. It feels quite different to them, and they like that about you. And they also, here with the Ace of Wands, find you extremely attractive, but because of that white hand, the way I'm being drawn to that, I'm saying that they see you attractive in quite an authentic way. So they may just see your creative energy as, and your inventive energy, should I say, as something that really appeals to them, and I feel they could listen to you and listen to your ideas all day, and they wouldn't ever kind of get bored by that. They would just want to know more and more and more, and each time you talk it's like a fresh perspective. It's there's always something new, and again, looking into the future. They're looking into the future, they're seeing this relationship and their current situation regarding love, they're seeing the potential in the movements forward and knowing what is to come. And when you talk to them and when they observe you and they see everything that, all of your ideas, your beautiful mind, they just think about all of the future and how much that's just going to grow and grow and grow over time as well. So the next card in your energy here for how your partner perceives you is the High Priestess. So they see you as divine, they see that you could be silent. Again, there's a sense again of taking a step back here, and they see your intuition as quite on point, and you don't have to converse with them much. It's as though you both just know. And they like that about you, that it's that sense of inner knowing, it's that sense of intuition where you really do communicate the most. It's as though, in a way, talking would just simplify your feelings because they are that intense for one another. Talking would just be a way to put your feelings into words, but really you don't even need to, because it's such a integral part of you that at times to do so would just not feel like the right thing to do, if that makes sense. But they are, with this card, the High Priestess, they do see you as divinely guided. They see you as part of a spiritual purpose, and what you are doing does have purpose. The next card is the Queen of Wands. Remember that this energy can be vice versa, this can be interchangeable, so take it how it resonates with you, Taurus. The Queen of Wands is a nurturing energy. She's also an inspirational speaker kind of energy as well, so they're seeing you as quite a protective individual, someone that plants the seeds, and you know, you're quite patient. You do like to watch things grow, and you receive warmth from that. You're quite a kind-hearted individual, quite a patient individual here, but while doing so they see your protective nature, they see the way you look out onto situations, and you do so with great care, and it's something that not only makes them feel safe and secure, but they see that you have the ability to also make others feel safe and secure. You're also, I feel, you may be more of a silent observer, but you also know when to take a stand, you know when to take the lead, and you see how this queen, they're holding this wand and they're looking out, and they provide clarity in times when there is not clarity here. And I'm being guided towards the sunflowers and how they look up to the sun. So you look up to what is going to create a safe foundation, what is going to create a stable foundation, and you plant those seeds and you implement that change. So that's how they see you, Taurus. I feel like, again, a sense of quite a deep individual, quite a reserved individual, but at the same time you know when to communicate in the right way, and you do so in a way that is quite attractive to them, and it's in a way that's quite creative and different. Now I'm going to look at how you perceive your partner, Taurus. How do you perceive your partner? your partner's energy. The Four of Cups is the first card for your partner, and at this time you're seeing them as having a lot of potential around them, but in a way you're recognizing their potential, and you don't think they see their potential as much as you do. So you see this individual, they're sitting there and I feel like they're meditating under this tree. They're trying to ground themselves and find a sense of security. And while doing so, they're looking at what they feel is lacking. They're looking upon what they feel is, I guess they could be quite a self-critical individual, or perhaps they don't recognize, my guides are saying perhaps they don't recognize their value, they don't recognize their worth as, and you're coming along and you have this cup, you see this cup next to them, and it could be that this cup is the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups represents overflowing emotion, overflowing abundance, and it's as though they can't quite see that, and it's quite distorted at this time. If we go back to the cloud in your partner's energy and that sense of cloudedness, and again it's quite we moved from quite harmonious energy, and as I move into your partner's energy it is a little bit more heavy. And it's interesting here because the Ace of Cups does represent unconditional love, and we have to say that even though this is the way you perceive them, so perhaps this is the way perhaps this is just a feeling that you have inside yourself, Taurus. In their energy, they do have the Empress card, and again we did discuss earlier how they do want to be open with their emotions and put everything on the table with you in, again, the right way, and trying to find what the right way exactly is for them in this relationship. I feel like you're understanding them. If they feel like they're in a place of lack, or perhaps they are self-critical, you're understanding them and you're really feeling that for them. I'm being guided towards the tree, and I'm hearing someone say it's only natural, it's understandable why they would feel a sense of lack. It's understandable why they would feel the way they do after everything they've had to go through. So perhaps you see them moving out of this energy, or you're just acknowledging really how much responsibility or how much stress they've been under lately. I feel like this energy is going to be different for all of you, Taurus. And the next card is the Emperor. The Emperor is the father of the deck. The Emperor is able to take the lead. They are quite a reliable and trustworthy individuals. People go to the Emperor to make long-standing decisions because he is going to make sure, he is determined to make sure that his kingdom is going to be safe. His kingdom is going to be a place that is just and isn't in a way lacking. So again, it's interesting because we have the Four of Cups, which is feeling unstable, and then again we have the Emperor. So perhaps you're seeing your partner feel a little bit self-conscious, but then at the same time they are quite an evolved individual. They're quite a wise individual. They're quite an established individual here with the Emperor card. The Emperor tends to the needs of others, and he's quite firm in his commitments. He's quite a serious individual, and he can be a little bit fixed on what he sees as long term. And again, that's just the sense, I'm sensing this as determination here. But again, this is someone offering a long-term commitment, a stable commitment that they're quite serious about, aren't they, Taurus? Next card, please, for your partner's energy. How do you perceive them? Wow. The Ten of Pentacles. Having quite, again, a long-term perspective, a very loyal individual here, offering you true companionship, and whatever you see as value and whatever you see as worth, you see in this individual. They are able to offer a stable foundation, and that foundation is based on a true sense of commitment, a true sense of unity. You see these individuals, they're keeping their promises, and that wise man is sitting and observing this foundation. So they know when they need to learn, they know when they need to gather their wisdom and gather their courage in order to expand their knowledge further. And also that sign of the companion animals at the bottom of the card, knowing that they're going to stay with you, they're going to stand by you, and you trust that they're going to stand by you, don't you, Taurus? So again, the 10 is the top, and the Pentacles are something practical, so what they are offering is quite substantial to you, I feel, Taurus. Another card did fall, and I usually put the cards back. If more than one come out, I take the first one, but my guides are telling me to take the next as well, and I have just turned this over, and it's the 10 of Wands. They have quite a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, but because of how much passion they have, because of how much drive they have, they're able to bear all of these wands and hold all of these wands. And I guess it's the stress of success, the burden of having so much responsibility but wanting to take that burden. It's almost like they take great hope and faith. They have great hope and faith and accomplishment in holding all of these wands and carrying them for what they serve, the purpose that they serve, and gathering strength through them. So I'm getting here that you're looking at them, and my guides are telling me beginner's passion. Beginner's passion. So let's say, for instance, they have a goal, and it's quite a substantial goal, and it's something long term. It may be to do, let's just have an example as a career. So they're working towards this, and they're studying in order to really go into this career. And that first level of ambition as they start their journey, that first level of fire, that ignites in them and tells them that this is their purpose. They could be already established here with the Emperor, and again, this 10 of Wands is someone that's already established, but they have the strength to carry all of these wands because they still have that fire. They still have that fire that ignites them. So even though this is the 10, it's almost like these wands, they're only as heavy as this person perceives them to be. And I feel like here you're feeling like they do have a deep sense of responsibility here that can be overwhelming at times, but they do so, and they have this passion that's just not going. It just doesn't go. They just have this drive within them to keep going, and they're never going to stop, and they don't give up. And you're seeing that. And the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands, again, you trust this individual. You see them as someone that, even though they perhaps may feel like they're not, at times they feel like they may not be able to give as much as they would like to give. Perhaps it's not that they don't feel like they're reliable, but it's a sense of, you know, doubting themselves in some way. You do see that they do have this immense strength within them that they're able to harness, and in a way that's how they establish themselves. It's through not being able to give up, not ever giving up. And wow, this sense of persevering through their journey here, you're very much observing that within them. So the last card, please, for how you perceive your partner, Taurus. There we go. Wow. Wow, this is incredible. This is incredible. Can we just take a moment to breathe, because the Ace of Cups has just come out, so... Okay. Sorry, I'll show you as well. The Ace of Cups. You see this individual as someone that has unconditional love. Their level of love is overflowing, and they may be offering this cup to you, but it's not so much just the cup. It's about how authentic it feels, how pure it feels, and how genuine they are in their emotions. And as they are, this emotion can build and build and build and overflow, even to the point where it consumes the bottom of this card. So again, it's that sense of bottomless love. They just want to be able to invest all of their time into you. I'm getting time. Whether that be a sense of you feeling them around you all the time, or actually someone that just is able to give to you as well. And this is more of an emotional card. This is more about feelings. So again, they're offering you substantial feelings, but they're very serious about these feelings with the Emperor card. And this Ace of Cups did come out underneath the Emperor. These are the two cards in the deck that do represent that sense of overflowing love, that sense of unconditional love. And that bird at the top of the card, if we go back to the premeditation, Taurus, of you representing a bird, it's as though you're just kind of, I guess, this feeling, these feelings that they have, they might feel quite intense. So you're just kind of holding that compass there, and you're realizing that this feels like it's meant to be. This feels like it always had to be this way. So I feel like something's happened, situations have happened, and you just know deep down that every single moment that led up to this point, it always had to be this way. And you're just pecking on that water now, and you're, I guess, taking a sip of that cup, and you're realizing that you wouldn't change anything about them. And that realization in itself, that this evolved from it came into your hands, and this divine love, this divine cup came into your hands. You're not letting this go. You realize the significance of this, you understand the significance of this, and you're going to bear this love, and you're going to bear this within you and take it as a part of you. That's what I'm getting through this observation. She's everything that you could want. I feel like this is feminine energy, and she's everything you need. And this could be a he. I'm just getting feminine energy, so it could be that this person is this they're a merging of both energies, and they're everything you want, but they're quite nurturing here, especially with the Empress, but you're seeing them as the Emperor, so take it how it resonates with you, Taurus. So now we're going to look at the future of this relationship. The first card out for the future of this relationship is the Justice card. Again, there's this habit here of beginning with major arcana on your side of the deck. So, on your side of the deck, interesting. That was a slip there. I meant to say the reading, but I said deck, and the deck is what creates the reading itself. So perhaps you are in the sense in a mode of change, in a mode of manifestation, and creating what you need in order to, I feel like, receive again in the right way. For some reason that's the, I guess, repetitive energy, and again the Justice card is all about what is right, all about what is just and equal. So we look, the Wheel of Fortune is the start of your current situation regarding love, and the Chariot is the start of how they perceive you. On your partner's energy, we did have the Empress card as the closing message of their current energy, and we moved forward to how you perceive them, and we did have the Emperor. So the Emperor and the Empress here as well. It's this all-encompassing energy of the masculine and the feminine energy here, I have to say, with the mother of the deck and the father of the deck. And now as we move into both of your energy, this is everything again coming into a balance, coming into a state that feels equal and feels right. You're both looking over this relationship. You're doing so in a way that is going to fulfill your commitments, that's going to fulfill your promises to one another and create balance. Most importantly, I feel like the first thing that you both are doing is focusing on what feels right and focusing on balance. And that really narrows down to the duties that you both have and fulfilling the both of the duties. Interesting. Fulfilling the duties that you perceive are essential to this relationship and serious and are part of a serious commitment, but also going towards the energy that might feel a little bit more light and a little bit more, I guess, harmonious. So there's this feeling of first wanting to be quite serious, wanting to be quite firm in order to come to a place that feels harmonious, in order to move to calmer waters here. Because there's a balance between the two. But at the moment, I feel like, or it's coming to a point where it's getting very, very serious, and it's going to feel like the sense of harmony is overwhelmed by a sense of responsibility. But then I'm getting this urge to come back again with those scales and balance that out again. So there may be a point where you both are focusing on trust and promises and maintaining this commitment and strengthening this commitment. Perhaps you're going through some changes at the moment that you're taking quite seriously, but then it's going to balance out and that harmony is going to settle and it's going to come to an equal energy. Your values and morals are going to align with one another and you're going to be able to find a common ground. Current energy regarding love. Ooh, Taurus, we started this reading with such harmonious energy and now we're coming again to that feeling of it's so serious. So it's as though you're so grateful for this connection, you're so appreciative of this connection, but then there's this underlying foundation here that feels quite intense. And this card is my card of core healing and letting go of swords, that, you know, deep-rooted pain. But actually I'm not getting that with this card. The energy, I have to say, from this card that I'm getting is you're so serious about this that your hearts are both penetrated. Your hearts are, if you think of the swords as trust, as truth, as authenticity, and again a sense of, I have to just say, a sense of seriousness here. You see how these swords are penetrating, and there's free, and the frees relate back to the Empress, that maternal, that creative energy. Whatever you're creating here, it's so serious that it's, you're really taking it you're both taking this as part of your heart, so that it can weather any storm, it can get through any storm. But I feel like I'm not really sensing a storm here, I'm just sensing that feeling of being penetrated. It's almost as though the sword that the Justice card is holding, there's 3 of those, okay? So it's the intensity of that, creating that, and the energy of the Empress coming through and just diving straight through the heart. And I feel making this commitment into something that truly is unstoppable, unbreakable, and is going to be long term and persevere through the good and the bad, and through thick and thin, for better or for worse. Building those emotions together with this 3 of Cups. So if you think of this energy again as relating to the Empress, and I am seeing the freeze, this energy is about building your emotions together and growing with one another. So perhaps it feels as though your bond is deepening day by day and your relationship is strengthening. So it's not so much here about quality. Okay, that's interesting. It's not, I was supposed to say it's not so much about quantity, it's about quality. But because of that slip, I'm also going to say that you aren't really, it's just an inner knowing of quality. You don't need to place any expectations on each other, because this is coming from a place of unconditional love. So in a sense, unconditional love doesn't need to be built, but still day by day you're working on bonding with one another and being able to grow with one another and bear those emotions and understand your emotions and keep moving through this energy. And it could be as well that one of you perhaps needs support, needs guidance, needs to feel safe and secure, and then the other is able to provide that, and then vice versa, and then you build and build and build and build and build and you grow. So quite a beautiful energy here, Taurus. Let's look into the future of this relationship. 2 more cards, please. I'm being asked to... Okay. The next card is the 5 of Cups. And I'm being asked to pull another card out with this energy, so I'm going to, Taurus. 1 more card, please, for Taurus. Okay, so we have the 5 of Cups with the Queen of Pentacles. Moving away from a place that feels lack, moving away from a place where you may feel unspoken, you may feel misunderstood, perhaps you're not expressing yourselves clearly to one another, and moving forward into a place where there's complete clarity and equilibrium. So this is someone that's looking out into the distance, and they may be actually feeling distant, quite frankly, and they might be feeling like they have to cover themselves in some way and shield themselves and guard themselves. But again, both of you are breaking free of this energy, and I feel like this might not be the relationship itself. It might be contributing factors. That's what my guides are telling me, contributing factors that perhaps are just clouding your judgments, and perhaps they're distractions at the moment from the relationship, you see? So this person, they're looking away, they're getting distracted, they're not being able to invest everything into this relationship, but then this relationship is right there every step of the way behind them. The Two of Cups are that sense of equal love, of making decisions from the heart, and I feel like here going into the future you are going to make decisions of the heart, because next to that Two of Cups, especially behind that Two of Cups, when they turn around and they see just how much they do have. So again, when you acknowledge that relationship again after all of this stress, of this life stress, I feel like here, you come towards here together and you're both representing this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is a long-term comforting energy. So the King and Queen of Pentacles, they are about being able to see the rewards of long-term work, long-term established values and core commitments that they have devoted themselves to. So if this is a relationship, you both have really invested all of yourselves into this relationship through growing throughout life in order to get to this point, and realizing everything it took in order to get to one another, and taking this commitment very seriously because you realize all of the hard work that it takes in order to really have a love that is stable, have a love that is secure, and not wanting to let go of that. But the Queen is about that nurturing energy, again that feminine energy that I was feeling on especially your partner's side here, but I feel like as well your side here, Taurus. You're wanting to protect one another, you're wanting to look out for one another. This is quite a generous energy, so you're both giving to one another in a right way that's feeling quite practical and feeling quite comfortable in doing so. And I just want to say, look at how this Queen is looking upon this Pentacle. This Queen is admiring this Pentacle, admiring this commitment. So you're both looking upon this relationship with admiration and dreaming about what there is to come, and knowing that what is to come is very much realistic and very much something that you both can achieve with true determination. I feel I was supposed to say devotion there, but instead I said determination. But I feel like that is coming through as well, that sense of the work it takes in order to maintain a substantial commitment and take a commitment seriously. Interesting energy. So now I'm going to close the reading, and wow, this is quite beautiful. You're both merging with one another is what my guides are saying to me. Unbreakable bonds. I have written a poem for every card in this deck, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a card to close the reading, and then I'm going to find the poem that corresponds with that card, and this is where I take a step back and I allow your intuition to take over. So as I read this poem to you, I'm going to allow you then to really analyze the meaning behind it and relate it back to this reading, relate it back to this connection. You're both growing, you're both seeing each other as equals and coming from a place of understanding. So the poem that we have for you, Taurus, is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is someone that is able to make big decisions. People can come to the King of Swords for long-standing decisions because they trust the King of Swords, because he takes everyone, every perspective into consideration, and then he moves forward in a way that is truthful, that is going to be beneficial for everyone. So again, that sense of you both making decisions that are going to really benefit one another and be in the highest good for one another. This equal sense of love that I was just saying about. Their intelligent and knowing interpretation of each and every perspective and situation justifies them to follow what is honest and fair. They stand for what is right and they persevere. The past and the future are important to oversee. Their soul preaches for both growth and equality. For the hardest and most far-reaching decisions, they approach with great wisdom and precision. Honing in on what feels right, what feels just, looking at both of your perspectives here and justifying movements forward that are both honest and fair to you both, and again standing for what is right and persevering. So I think what I would say stands out for me in this poem, Taurus, is they stand for what is right and they persevere, because I was getting that message all the way through this reading. Also, their soul preaches for growth and equality, because that really was an energy that I was picking up on as well, especially with the Justice card being in your future and feeling like the sword in the Justice card was penetrating your heart on such a core level here of commitment. For those of you that want to take note of this poem, I'm just going to see if the camera can focus. Hopefully that can for some of you. Very beautiful energy and a very beautiful, I feel quite a mature and serious poem to close this reading. Now, for those of you that want to join me in the extended, I will say that this is your energy, so thank you for sharing this energy for those of you that are not joining me, because you really are, this is your energy. I'm just the messenger, so you really are telling your story to me, and my guides are saying whispering, because you are so harmonious and feeling so, I feel quite sentimental at this time, Taurus, that you really are, you're whispering to the universe. So yes, this is the story, these are the details, and now we are going to look into the deeper meaning behind this love and the purpose that this reading had for you and your partner, and also pulling a couple of poems for you, pulling a couple of poems for your partner, and allowing us to analyse those poems and understand the deeper meaning behind them. So we do have the King of Swords, but there is more energy, and this will be specific to you and specific to your partner. So that's a automatic download, and the information for the extended will be in the description box below. I'm sending you all of my love, all of my light, and all of the positive energy for the blessings of this love in your movements forward. Thank you for watching, Taurus.